Hello everyone, greetings again. Will DeGrauw here with another series of Yoga and Tai Chi. Today I want to focus a little bit more on the Tai Chi Qigong movement experience. They're called forms or exercises versus poses, as the term is in yoga. But I will do a fusion, as I always do in this series. It's been a wonderful experience, an honor and a privilege to open this opportunity of simple movement and merging the integration of Yoga and Tai Chi in this experience for the Brain Injury Association of North Carolina. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this, and I'm honored and thankful, gratitude deep within my heart. Thank you. Today what we're going to do is focus in on the theme of moving forward resilience. Resilient is the term, and the idea is to, yes, we understand the past, we can look back at the past, and oftentimes in my experience we are here in the present. That's the focus of Yoga and Tai Chi, but we also can move forward, look back over our shoulder, look ahead in movement and finding the wisdom of the past and moving forward towards resiliency. And that sense is bouncing back, being flexible like the willow, and just flowing with the flow of the energy of the wind, the water, the sun, the natural elements, and recognizing that moving forward in our lives is what progress is, and moving forward is what nurturing and caring for ourselves is. So in this experience of the here and now, we can look back, but yet we also look forward and understand the wisdom of resiliency, the ability to bounce back, the ability to move on and find new light, new beginnings, new opportunities, new starts, to, in a sense, feel that movement of life, to encourage the power of our spirit to shine, to ascend, to enlighten. So in our sense of today, there's the theme of specifically looking back, moving forward resilience. And I have a passage reading during our meditation experience. So let us begin. So with that, we're going to start with our meditation and then really move into our Tai Chi Yoga fusion. As always, please read the disclaimer, the waiver, responsibility, liability that's presented in the beginning and also available through the Brain Injury Association of North Carolina. Yoga and Tai Chi is a universal inclusion of wellness, integration, and it embraces diversity and acceptance of all people, wherever we are on the journey, whoever we are in that journey. So welcome. And the most important thing in all of Yoga and Tai Chi is really understanding the power of breath work, breathing in and breathing out, at your own pace, at your own leisure, at your own casual experience, finding your own natural rhythm. That's really important in our practice and in our forms today, and always. Let us begin with our feet flat on the floor and our toes are pointed straight, moving towards Chair Tadasana or Wu-Ji. And today maybe what we'll do is focus more on Wu-Ji, which is really basically just a difference in our hands positioning and our stance. So anyway, feet are flat on the floor, toes are pointed straight. Our knees are over our ankles, so we just reach down and gently touch our knees, our ankles I should say. And now inhaling back up towards our knees. On the next breath cycle, from knees to hip points. Gently hold on to our hips with our hands left and right, and gently rock back and forth on our sits bones, anchoring and securing, feeling grounded and rooted. Today may be different than yesterday, and it may indeed be different than tomorrow. We certainly don't know, but we know that right here and right now we are grounded and rooted, we are settled, we are secure. Being at home in our heart center, being at home, feeling the power of peace, recognizing that no matter where we are, it's the breath that brings us home to find peace. On the next breath cycle, we come back neutral. Palms come to your lower back, your kidneys, fingertips pointing down, and grow tall and long in your spine as you do so. Immediately I can feel it in my posture, in my framework, my frame. And as our hands are to our lower back, our fingertips are pointing down, our elbows are out wide. This is camel pose, a yoga pose. Hold the pose, keep breathing. And on the next breath cycle, we slide our fingertips down into our seat cushion. Fingertips touch there on the seat. That tilts our tailbone down and our pelvis points up. And now one hand to the lower back and one hand to the belly button. Belly button, squeeze it into the spine. Belly button zips up to your heart center, zip up your jacket. And now your hands come to your side body. Float your ribs up from your sits bones to your shoulders, side body long. Elongate. And on the next breath cycle, you'll take your right hand to your left shoulder and your left hand to the right shoulder. And this is the Dream Big pose I've included into our yoga practice in setting up for chair Tadasana, chair mountain pose, or Wuji. And the experience of, we all have dreams. Whether they're spoken or manifested or deep within the recesses of our heart, we have dreams. And so in acknowledgement of the dreams that we have had, have, and will have, we blink 3 times, chin to chest. 1, inhale up, exhale 2, inhale up, exhale 3, inhale up. Recognizing the dreams are coming to fruition to manifest themselves to truth. In the next breath cycle, on the next breath cycle, broaden across the collarbones, arms come out to the letter T, palms are facing down. Gently take flight, recognizing movement in our lives. Always moving, nothing ever static, nothing ever stationary. Is movement. And on the next breath cycle, exhale your hands gently down by your side. Inhale your shoulders to your ears. Roll them back down your back pocket. Opens your heart center up. Inhale your hands up onto the lap. Flip your palms up to receive grace and blessings. And this is the giving and the receiving. So you give yourself as a gift to others through your experience of connectivity. And then in turn you receive the gift of others in that response. And so that in life there's this giving of yourself and receiving of others to your energy, to yourself, to your authenticity. So just gently move your hands back and forth. And on the third time, what we're going to do is set ourselves up for Wu-Ji, because we're going to focus in on the Tai Chi focus of meditation in a sense. So take your, doesn't really matter, take your right hand or your left hand to your belly button, and then bring the other one over the hand. So your thumbs can interlock, and so this is going to be our resting position as we meditate. Now, if it's uncomfortable, bring your hands down to your knees, as we do in chair Tadasana. But this is predominantly a Tai Chi resting pose, Wu-Ji. And now we align from the sits bones to the crown of our head. We ascend upward along the spine to the back of the neck and to the crown of the head that we have there at the top. And the halo that we wear, the glorious halo, the energy cycle circling our head, circling our aura. And so with the aura elevating and growing and ascending, we are also rooted and anchored with our feet to the ground. So here in this position of chair Tadasana or Wu-Ji in Tai Chi, we are ascending and grounding. So there's a polarity in life here that's always present in life, and there's the extremes of one side and the other side, and the many, many shades of colors that come before in between. So there's a range of life, the circle of life, the alpha and the omega, the beginning, the end, the north, the south, the ascension, the grounding. There's all these polar opposites that merge into our being in movement and enlightenment. So take a few moments here and now. And as we align, shift your ears over our shoulders, because I can tell my head is tipping forward. Doorbell your nose in as you ding-dong your nose in, and recognize that someone is home. You are home at home. And so that flattens out the small of the back of the neck here and keeps and invites a straight spine. So here in this moment, while my eyes are closed, I do invite you perhaps to close your eyes or keep your eyes open as we enter into an experience of simple breathing. So our framework, our frame, our carriage, our constitution is strong. It has strong integrity. We are also now turning inwardly in the power of our breath cycle. So while my voice and I myself am simply a guide, a Sherpa in the journey of movement and mountain pose or Wu-Ji, we turn inwardly, each of us, to the power of our breath cycle. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly, deliberately, with intention and purpose, we find freedom, movement, meaning, and purpose in our breath cycle. Take a few moments to find and discover, explore your own natural experience of breath. Feeling a natural, gentle, easy rhythm, as if we have a new dance partner. And that dance partner is the power and awareness, the feeling, the sensation of your breath work. Take a few moments here now and just feel that rhythm, feel that presence. And as we enter into the experience, as I silence my voice, and then in a few moments, I'll read a nice passage and some powerful questions of thoughtfulness. So take a few moments and breathe. Today's passage is looking back and moving forward, resilience. Theme is looking back, moving forward, resilience. Our chanting words will be moving forward, resilience. Be careful not to stay stranded in the past. Do not look back unless it is to recognize how far you've moved forward. Use the wisdom you gathered from the past and quietly advance in the direction of your wildest dreams forward. Be careful not to stay stranded in the past. Do not look back unless it is to recognize how far you've moved forward. Use the wisdom you gathered from the past and quietly advanced in the direction of your wildest dreams forward. Thoughtful questions for today's reading and message. Where in my life can I reflect, illuminate, and radiate this message of moving forward, being resilient, bouncing back, finding new beginnings? What thoughts, actions, and words are encouraging me to take action through this message by moving forward and being resilient? Awakening, feeling refreshed, feeling new beginnings, feeling new opportunities. We begin to wiggle the fingers on our hands and the toes on our feet. With greater movement and ease, we drop our hands off our knees and inhaling our hands up and overhead, clapping above our head. And the first chanting word as we bring our thumb knuckles to our heart center, the first chanting word as we exhale is the word moving. Inhaling your hands up and over your head, clapping above your head. The second chanting word is the word forward. Forward. Inhaling your hands up and over your head, clapping above your head. The third chanting word is the word resilient. Resilient. past of looking back welcomes the future of looking forward. Yet in the midst of all of that, we are here and now, and we are resilient. We are able to bounce back. We are flexible. We can change. We know change. Invite change, invite resiliency into your heart. The chanting bells are rung 3 times in the power of the spirit, mind, and body coming together to form one for your wellness and the wellness of all people and all people in your community and all of humanity. Pausing, believing, breathing in the power of resiliency, we bow forward to each other and say, Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Peace with you. Shanti, Shalom. So that Namaste is a universal handshake, a greeting of the light in me honors the light in you and vice versa. It's like that sense of giving of yourself and receiving yourself in the power of goodness, good energy. All right, we have a lot of ground to cover today in the experience, and I just wrote a few notes here. It's been helpful for me to write down notes here for movement. There's so many movements, and I just tried to encompass different ones in this video series while certainly keeping to certain solid ones that are foundational. And one of those foundational ones that we'll do today, of course, will always be setting our intention. So our theme, and each session we have a theme, and today's theme is moving forward resilience. We're going to set our intention halfway in the practice, setting good energy from ourselves to the universe and specific people. So today I want to do polishing the mirror, belt meridian, reeling silk, holding the moon, parting the clouds, flying phoenix, and also another reeling silk exercise is toe in and toe out. So we'll start with our head, work our way down to the toes with these types of full body experiences. So let's begin with our hands on our knees, and very gently, we're going to just take our chin into your chest, look down at your toes. Hold your pose, keep breathing. On the next breath cycle, inhale up, and rise up with your chin, just nice and gentle. And exhale, chin to chest, very gentle. This is just head tilts up and down, looking down, and then looking up. On the next breath cycle, continue. Our last cycle, I like to try to do 3s on everything as best as I can. Recognition and the connection with the association of spirit, mind, and body, unity in the Trinity. And now come back neutral. Now we're going to turn over to the right and the left with a gentle spinal twist. And as we do so, our hands are going to come down by your side. And so what we're going to do is very gently, as if the spinal cord is one attached piece of a solid rod, we're going to turn our whole body from, it really actually is from the feet, but more particularly as we're seated, it's really from the belly, from the heart center, to the chin, and the head all turning to the right. So it turns over. So gently begin to turn from the whole body, from your belly to the right. And your hands are naturally going to follow with your shoulders. And go as far as you go, not too far in this first turn. And now let's turn the opposite direction, coming back in center, and very gently turning to the left side. Very easy. These are very gentle early morning spinal twists, left and right. And while I say it's morning, every moment is a morning, a rising, a sunrise. And of course there's the polar opposite of the sunset, but I seem to be a morning person, so that comes to me naturally. Now on this next one, we're going to hold the turn to the right a little bit more. So we're just gently turning our upper body, our upper torso, slowly to the right. So the turn really comes from the belly, from the ribs, from the heart center, the shoulders, and finally also then the chin. But at the last piece, we also turn our gaze over to the right. So the eyes naturally follow to the right side. There's multiple points that are actually turning from the core. On the next breath cycle, let's inhale back center and now go to the left very gently, nice and easy. And then once again, the cue points are really from the belly, from the ribs turning to the left, from the heart center to the shoulders, finally the chin over to the left, and then your gaze, your eyes, your eyeballs are going to the left, looking back behind you. And on the next breath cycle, inhale, come center, and release. And just spirit wave your hands in yogi marching toes. There's their fusion right away, quickly. All right, we're going to do our wrists and our shoulders. So arms come out to robot arms, but this time our palms are facing down. And in this experience, it's from the middle finger to the shoulder point that we're going to rotate, but it's really a wrist rotation. So what we're going to do here is just beginning to circle our hands inwardly and outwardly. But the movement really is from the shoulder, and then you can start to get involved with your wrist in one gentle fashion. So there's movement from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist, and this extension of movement in Qigong Tai Chi. And now gently cycle in the other direction, finding that compass point, the new orientation, the new beginnings with your wrist. So the circle manifests itself into that symbol or that recognition of new beginnings. The start to the finish, the alpha, the omega, the beginning and the end, the continuum, the continuity. And on the next breath cycle, release your hands down by the side, spirit wave your hand, yogi marching toes. We're going to do a little bit of reeling silk, and we're going to work both shoulders, but we're going to work individually on one shoulder than the next. So we're going to take our hands are down by our side. Let's take our right hand to the right knee, and we'll do our left shoulder first. So all our arm is down by the side, and your arm and your finger, your shoulder and your finger are really going to form circles together, but that arm is just simply dangling to the side. So you're just beginning to make circles with that shoulder as it moves back and down and forward and up, back, down, forward, and up. And now cycle in the opposite direction. So we go forward, down, back, and up. So as you can see, my hand and arm is pretty straight, flat and down to the side, but yet we're moving this arm through the movement of the shoulder. So you can actually probably imagine a circle with those fingertips, the middle finger as the energy point. And now come back to neutral. Bring that hand to your knee. Allow your right hand to just simply dangle to the side. And once again, we'll go up and back and down, forward and up. So it's back, down, forward and up. Back, down, forward and up. Just feel that movement. Sense it. Understand it. Witness it. And now cycle it in the opposite direction. Feel that circle. And come back to neutral. And allow both hands now to dangle on the side. And we're going to do both. So the shoulders come up, back, down, and forward. Up, back, down, and forward. Up, back, down, and forward. And now reverse. So now we come up to the top and we go forward and down and back and up. So what we're doing in these movements here before we do full body is really isolating the different joints for increased mobility and all sorts of good healthy integrations of the body and the mind and the spirit connection. And on the next breath cycle, release, spirit wave your hands, yogi marching toes. Now, arms come out to the letter T. Here we go. Flip your palms up, bend your elbows, fingertips come to your shoulder points. And now what we're going to do, and this is a simultaneous one, we're going to bring our elbows forward towards our nose, and then down to our heart, out to the side, and repeat. Down, up to the nose, down to the heart, out to the side, and repeat. Forward, down, out. And now let's go the opposite direction. So it's down to the heart, up to the nose, and out. And again, down to the heart, up to the nose, and out. And down to the heart, up to the nose, and out. And now gently release the hands down by your side, yogi marching toes, spirit wave your hands. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. Let's work on our upper torso, and we'll do gentle side stretches. So we'll rock back and forth here, left and right. So hands are on your hips, and your lower half of your body is stationary. You might start to feel some movement in your knees, but all we're going to do is what we did earlier in preparing for chair tadasana, is move our upper torso, our upper chest from the belly button side to side, left and right. So these are gentle side body stretches, and we are going to do a side body stretch just to loosen up the side body before we do some other movements in Tai Chi. So in this experience of yoga and Tai Chi fusion, there are similarities, but yet they are different, and they definitely have different principles and founding guidelines. So while there's a lot of similarities, there are also conversely a lot of differences. But it's interesting to understand that in both spheres of these wellness practices, it's just simply movement and connecting to breath and meditating and finding energy and enlightenment. So there's quite a lot of similarities. And now come back to neutral. Let's do a side body stretch as we bring our hands up over our head, inhaling our hand. Spirit wave our left hand. Left hand will come to our right knee. Now the right hand will teapot over towards the left side of the room as we anchor that left hand to the right knee. Maybe it comes to the outside of the knee. Get a little bit more leverage that way. And you just gently teapot over to the left with your right hand. And now as you do so in this position, we look up towards the hand, towards the ceiling. Maybe it's not going to go that far, and that's okay. That's the movement of accommodation and change in your own experience. But just hold this pose and keep breathing. And so this is a side body stretch. There's a lot of static strength, stationary strength in this position as you curve from your right foot to your right hip, to your right elbow, to your right fingertips. And now look up, you're looking up, and now on the next breath cycle, we're going to look forward and come back up with both hands. Beautiful. Spirit wave the right hand, get a little bit of movement. Right hand comes to the left knee or the outside of the left knee. The left fingertips and arms grow tall and long, and now it teapots over to the right side of the room. So now we're going just simply to the right with our left hand. And here we're anchoring from the left foot to the left ankle, knee, hip, elbow, side body to the left. Holding your pose, keep breathing. It's a gentle spinal twist, but it's also a powerful side body stretch. Holding your pose, keep breathing. We inhale and look up towards the ceiling, towards our elbow, if you feel comfortable doing so. And on the next breath cycle, inhale, both hands up. Exhale, both hands down, and shake it out. Spirit wave your hands, yogi marching toes. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. We're going to do some movement here. We're going to do a belt meridian, and then we're going to work our way down to our lower legs to get some mobility into our joints down there, from our hips to our knees to our ankles. But let's start here with the torso, and we're going to do belt meridian. So our palms come to the right hip. And all we're going to do is begin to shift and move our arms from the right side to the left side. So basically what's going to happen is your hands, your right hands, your hands, I should say your right and left hand, are going to go from that right hip to the left hip. And as we do so, we're going to swing out with our torso. So follow along here. We'll do it a few times. First one is practice. So it goes out with our hands in a semicircle as we lean over towards the right side, towards our right knee. And then we swing forward towards both centers of the knee, right in front of us. Lead with the heart center. Both hands are in front, palms are down. And you can interlock your thumbs just as a place setting. And now it swings over in a semicircle to your left as you shift your weight to the left, and it comes to the left hip. So there you have your movement. And now it's belt meridian, and we bring our hands across our belt, our belly button, the meridian center here, and now we just simply repeat. So the torso comes forward towards the right knee. Our arms swing out, and as we do so, we come back to center. Everything's neutral, and then back over to the left as we sing our weight and our hands over to the left hip, and over. So just begin to feel this movement, nice and gentle. And in these instructional videos, I invite you to certainly pay attention to my voice, but just find your own intuition of movement. And it might be at some point helpful to actually mute the phone, mute your computer, so you don't necessarily see or hear my voice, because a lot of this is gentle and movement meditative experience. And now cycle in the opposite direction. So there's an interesting key that I'm going to start introducing in our series, is perhaps while you might see it and hear it in a first go through, it might be nice to quiet my voice in this experience. So you're just going now to the opposite side, obviously, and now coming back to center, one hand over the belly button, one hand to the other, and hold the pose. This is Wuji again, collecting the energy in your Tantian, your energy source here. The other thing about Tantian is you're imagining the universe, the infiniteness, the greatness, the vastness that's way out there, coming in a channel, an energy source to our forehead, our intuition, and then coming down through our heart center to our energy storage point. So this is your iCloud right here, your iCloud of energy. So hold this energy, this storage of positivity, and feel it manifest and welcoming outward and back inward. And release and shake it out. Well done, well done. All right, so now let's do another arm movement. This is really with our arms. We're going to take a step forward. Let's start with our left foot forward. So let's take our left foot forward, heel strikes the ground just slightly in front of us, and the toe, and then so you have a flat foot on the left side. Now let's take our right foot underneath our chair, propping itself up on the ball of the foot. So just basically the left foot is extended, the right foot is underneath the chair. The right hand is on the right hip. The left hand starts off at the right hip with the palm facing up, okay? So what we're going to do is basically extend this left shoulder, elbow, wrist out to the left foot. And as we do so, we're going to start making a semicircle with this hand, and then conversely we'll go to the opposite side. But as we do so, we're going to do some special things with our hands, our thumb to pinky movement. So here your palm is facing up, your elbow is bent, your shoulder is slightly forward, your left shoulder. And now it's a thumb to pinky orientation turn. So you take your thumb, which is forward, and turn it inwardly to your towards where your hip is. And as we do so, we lean forward, and it's from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist that we extend outward with our hand. So now it's slightly just around heart center height. Your elbow is out, your pinky is up, your thumb is down, and your palm is forward, just like this. And you have a slight movement forward with your torso. And now what we're going to do is do a pinky to thumb twist. So your pinky orients towards your thumb comes up, and as it does so, we bring our elbow down and bring our hand, our wrist, back into alignment with our right hip. So there's our movement. Thumb to pinky, orient, palm down, extend out with our arm from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist, palm facing forward, and then pinky to thumb and back in. So we're making this circle, this ellipse, as we move our hand gently forward. And as I do so, our torso comes up and down. And on the next breath cycle, bring this hand to the left hip and basically exchange your feet position. So the left foot comes in, the right foot comes out. Propping yourself on the ball of the left foot, your right foot is on the ground. Take your right hand to the left hip, palm facing up, thumb forward, pinky back. And now it's that thumb to pinky turn, palm faces down, and then we extend from the shoulders to the elbow to the wrist forward, leaning forward a little bit. Palm is forward, and then back in. And then forward, pinky to thumb. This is called ward off. Ward, W-A-R-D, ward off. And on the next breath cycle, bring your hand to your hip and bring both feet flat and flip forward to Chair Tadasana, release and shake it out. Well done, well done. All right, we're going to work on our legs from the, let's work on our hips to our knees to our ankles. So what we're going to do is do two movements. I'm just going to move this book because I know where my feet are going to go. My foot is going to go, I should say. So what we're going to do is we're going to first take our left hand to the left hip, right hand to the front of that knee, the right knee. So lift the right knee up as high as you can, as best as you can, as you exhale. Flex the toe to your nose. And all we're going to do here at this point is from the hip point, we're going to move the knee and the lower leg in a circle out and back the other way a couple times. So here we go, follow along. So the leg comes out and down and in and up. Out and down and in and up. So this is hip mobility movement. Nice and gentle. Flex your toe to your nose and then cycle it in the other direction. Once again, that compass point, finding a new orientation, finding a true north, finding a new direction. And come back in and release that leg down. Beautiful. Yogi marching toes. Let's do it on the other side. Right hand to the right hip, left hand to the left knee in front. Lift that leg up as you exhale. Flex your toe to your nose. And now let's swivel that knee out, following along in one simple direction. So it's out and down, up and in. And in this experience of the cycle, you can inhale as you go out, inhaling, and then exhaling as you come back in. So a lot of this movement in both yoga and Tai Chi is inhaling as we expand and open, and then exhaling as we close and come in. So for predominantly most of the movements, it's called a vinyasa in yoga, which is inhaling and exhaling. In movement, opening, inhaling, closing, exhaling. And now let's go back the other direction. We did a few more that way. And on the next breath cycle, release and shake it out. Well done, well done. All right, we're going to work on our knees. We're going to take the palms underneath the right knee, underneath this hamstring, just below the knee, behind the knee, I should say. So you're going to allow the right leg to dangle, and it's from the knee that we're going to make the circle on the lower half of the leg. So just begin to use your toes as a compass point. You can point your toes or you can flex them. It doesn't necessarily matter, but it just helps to maybe point the toes to find that circular fashion as you draw circles on the floor with your toes, but it's really from the knee that's moving. And now go in the opposite direction. And release that leg down. Yogi marching toes. Let's try that other one. Take your hands underneath your leg and lift that up. Dangle it from the knee down to the foot. Point your toes and then exhale. And inhale in your circular fashion. And just find that natural rhythm of your own breath cycle as you make those compass points with the toes pointed, if you wish to have those toes pointed down to make those circles. So we're increasing the range of motion and mobility in our joints in this fashion. So now go in the opposite direction. And we're going to do our ankles in a moment. Now I do need to do the other hip opener, so let's go back to the hips as I remember that movement. And come back to neutral, yogi marching toes. Okay, so what we're going to do is go back to the hip. And what we're going to do is, it's going to be a toe touch. So toe touch in the front and toe touch to the side on this right side, and then we'll do similar to that on the left side. So now lift the right heel off the ground, and allow your right toes to just simply touch the ground, okay? So all we're going to do now, you can take your hand to the front of the knee, and this hand, the left hand, to the hip. What you're going to do is lift the knee up and bring it over to the side and toe tap to the side, and then back up and toe tap to the front. So that's all we're doing. So we're up and toe tap to the side, lift up, toe tap to the front. So just feel that movement. And here on the downward we inhale, and here as we bring the knee up we exhale. So there's just different movements. So it's and down, and bring that leg back down. Now you know what we're doing there. We're going to start on the left side. So bring your right hand to the hip, left hand to the front of the knee, toe tap with your left foot, heel off the ground, and it comes up and out to the side and down. Up and out to the side and down. Here we go. Just follow that movement. And in and out. So you can feel that gentle movement of your hip, and it's also strengthening of your arms, your bicep, your tricep as you lift that leg up, really. And down and shake it out. Well done, well done. We're going to do two ankle exercises now that we've connected from the hips to the knees to the ankles. And the first one is really ankle rotation. So we're going to take both hands to the front of the right knee and just lift that right knee up. And now it's really the isolation of the ankle, the right ankle, that's going to turn in one direction. So there's the circles again. But here we're working not from the knee, because the knee is stationary, but it's really the ankle that's swiveling and swirling. And cycle in the other direction. And down it comes. Well done. Let's work on that left side. Bring that left knee into the chest. Hold on to the knee in front, or you can hold on to underneath that knee, behind the knee. And there's ankle rotations now in one direction. So invite the swirling of your toes in one gentle fashion, and then in the opposite direction. Finding power in the duality, the polarity of opposites, the circles, the yin and the yang and the yin, and down we come and shake it out. Well done, well done. Now the next one is called toe in and toe out. And what we're basically going to do is keep our one foot stationary. We're going to start, let's keep our left foot stationary. And we'll move our right heel, and our right heel will anchor, but it's the toes that are going to turn in and out. So follow along here. So left hand to the left hip. And you can really bring this right hand to the hip, but it might be helpful to just keep your hand on your right knee. So all we're going to do is keep the heel anchored, and our toe is going to lift up and turn to the side, out. Okay, that's toe out. And now the toe comes up, and it doesn't come center, toes in. And as it comes in, we just gently sit over towards our right hip. So let's try this again here. And now inhale up, and the toe comes up. And now we move the toe over to the outside, and as it comes to the outside, we lean forward towards our knee. So just towards our right side. So there's this movement now of not only the foot toeing in and toeing out, but there's movement of our torso. So we isolate the knee first, and now we're doing the torso. So now we lift the toe up and our body comes up. Our toe comes in, and as we do so, we sit back a little bit on our right hip. And so up we come, the toe comes up, the toe comes out, and we lean forward over the knee. See how that happens? And now up we come, the toe follows, it goes in, and we sit back on our hip. So there's just very subtle movements. So a lot of the things in this Tai Chi yoga is subtle. Toe comes out, lean forward over the knee, and now up we come, and now the toe comes in, and we sit back on our hip. And now let's come back to neutral, and we'll do it on the other side. So now bring your left hand to the left knee, because that's the side we're going to work on. The right hand comes to the hip. We'll go toe out. So lift your toes up, turn on your heel, it goes out, and as it does so, we lean forward. So there's your movement. And now inhale up, and the toe comes in, and we sit back on our hip, our left hip. And now the toe comes up, and we turn the toe out, and we lean forward over our knees slightly. And then up with the toe, and out, and back into the hip. And so gently move both your toe and your body, torso, in a very gentle way, nice and easy. And now come back to neutral. And yoga marching toes, spirit wave your hand. Well done, well done. That's toe in, toe out, okay? All right, so now we really, pretty much I'm thinking now, I think we've really worked our head down to our toes in the different joint motions and movements. We're gonna set up our intention today now at this point. It's a good juncture point before we move on into these other Tai Chi movements, which are full body movements. So we're gonna set our intention, and our intention comes from our heart to the universe. And our theme, of course, is looking back, moving forward, resilience, feeling that power of bouncing back. So we'll still keep with that chant during our intention of moving forward, resilient, during our chant as we clap our hands above our head during this intention. But now let's bring our hands to heart center. And our palms are touching, our elbows are out wide. We're in chair Tadasana, chair mountain pose with Namaste hands. And now open your hands like a book, so your thumb knuckles are right at your heart center, your elbows tuck into your side body, and as you do so, your palms open up like a book. There are the blank pages of your new story, your new beginning, your new chapter of today, the moment of here and the now. So in the experience of moving forward in resiliency, we invite the power of connecting the past, the present, and the future. And in doing so, we have a new chapter in our book, our story life, our journey. And in that experience, we think of someone or a group of people right here and right now that need some power, some uplifting, some positive energy, whether it's we know them or we don't. Maybe it's about world peace today. Maybe you join me right now and here in the power of world peace and acceptance and diversity of all people. We need healing in the world. So there's our message, perhaps, of sending healing and positivity, resiliency out to the world. You're invited to partner up with me on that experience. That's my intention now. But you certainly are thinking now, perhaps, of your own intention. So with that in mind, cocoon that intention with your fingertips as your fingertips close around that intention with a little bit of space between your palms. And now there it is, deep within the recesses of your heart and your hands, is the intention of good energy, good karma, good thoughts, good positivity towards someone and something. So here we go. We're going to take it up, inhaling above your chin, above your nose, above your forehead, above your head. And now the back side of your hands touch. Your thumbs come forward and you swan dive. Your arms come out towards the liturgy. You lead with your heart towards your knees. Fingertips come to your knees, your ankles, your shins, and you do a forward fold, nice and gentle. Look down at your toes and feel that forward fold, the lower back coming forward. The crown of your head is forward Now gently shift your knees left and right, side to side. Feel a little bit of movement in your lower back, the fascia, the connective tissue between your pelvis and your lower back. On your next breath cycle, come back to neutral. Push down into the four corners of the feet, and then we rise up, reach up, inhaling above our head, clapping above our head. And now we come back to our chant, and the first word is the word moving. Moving. Inhaling your hands up and over your head. And now we do a swan dive. Lead with the heart towards your knees, fingertips towards your heart center, fingertips towards your knees, your ankles, and you do a forward fold. Nice and gentle. Forward fold. Rock your knees back and forth, side to side, left and right. Feeling the movement in your lower back, recognizing that from the sunrise and the sunset, that there's constant motion, and we're part of that movement, but we also can understand the power of rest. And on the next breath cycle, coming back to neutral, rising up, reaching up, inhaling, up we go, clapping above your head, and exhaling your hands to heart center. On the second chanting word is the word forward. Forward. Inhaling your hands up and over your head, reaching, flipping the back side of the hands to touch. Swan dive, arms come out towards the letter T, heart center to the knees, fingertips to your forward fold, coming forward with your heart, belly button to spine, looking down at your toes. And this is a good cue point to focus in on your belly button to spine and belly button to heart center as you gently continue to breathe, but now you have this deep forward fold and you're just rocking yourself back and forth, nice and side to side. On the next breath cycle, coming back to neutral, rising up, reaching up, inhaling, upward we go, clapping above our head, and now exhaling with the chant of resilience. Resilience. Beautiful. Taking your right hand to your heart center, the left hand swings out to the side. We're going to do this powerful movement of our intention in another demonstrative way. We're going to exchange one hand to the heart and one hand out to the side as we say important key words of movement of our intention to the universe. So from our heart to the universe. The first word is send forth, so repeat after me. Send out. Listen. Give voice. Breathe. Believe. Hand over hand to the heart center. Extend your hand straight out in front of you. There's your intention in the palms of your hand, elevating it and just saying three more important words. The first word is gratitude, grace, blessings. On the next breath cycle, bring your hands to heart center, pause and believe and breathe. Elbows out wide, recognizing that your intention from your heart has been sent out to the universe, your higher power, the cosmos, your journey outward, and release and shake it out. Wonderful. We're going to do two more, and then we're going to do some, we're going to do dancing sun. So arms come out to cactus arms, spirit wave your hands. So arms are out to cactus arms, spirit wave your hand. And now we're going to teapot from the right elbow to the right hip, and we just dance with the sun rising and the sun setting. Sun rising and setting. So back and forth, once again, finding a side body stretch, finding the polarity, the integration of the duality of life and the full spectrum of color, and come back to neutral and release. All right, looking at my notes. We're going to hold the moon, part the clouds, and fly with the phoenix. All right? So holding the moon, we're going to hold the moon so our hands come in front of us, palms are facing towards our heart center, our elbows are bent. So here we're imagining we're having and holding a full moon. So the circle of the full moon right here in front of us. You know, like that. And so we're going to hold the moon and we're going to bring it up. We're going to rise, the full moon rising. So what we're going to do is our hands swoop up towards our heart center. And now it's once again that thumb to pinky orientation as our palms face forward. And then they rotate from the heart center upward. And as our hands come up, our gaze follows our fingertips. And here at the apex, the full moon is rising. So we're holding the moon once again, but it's rising. So there's the waxing and the waning of the moon in its cycle. And now the hands come out around to the side, palms facing outward, and now they swoop back in. So there's a shoulder, elbow, wrist movement. So our palms come back upward, holding the moon by our heart center, or by our belly, our chi, holding the moon. And now it rises up, that energy core. At the heart center, thumb to pinky orientation, it rotates palms forward, and up we go. And around. Let's do the next one really in quiet. Okay, just follow along through the video. And release. Well done, well done. Well, parting the clouds and flying phoenix are two of the same movements. And we're going to shift our feet forward again like we did in reeling silk. So what we're going to do is let's take the left foot forward and the right foot underneath. And here our left foot is forward, our right foot is underneath. Now our palms are going to face up. There's two different versions of parting the clouds. This version is associated with flying the phoenix. So what we're going to do is we're going to part the cloud first. So our hands, our palms are facing up, our thumbs are out to the side, our pinkies are perhaps touching if you want, and the elbows are bent, and you're nice and tall and long in your spine. And so what's going to happen from the belly, from your chi, our palms are going to come forward, and now they're going to come back to the hips. So now we orient our thumbs to our pinky, and our palms face down. And now our hands come out to the side and back in to our hips. And then from the hips, they orient pinky to thumb. So we're making circles with our palms. And here our palms are going up, facing up, and they come out. This is parting the clouds. And now the palms face down, and they come to our side, to our hips. Parting the clouds. And now we're going to do the flying phoenix, which is really basically this opposite. So now our hands come out to the side, and now the palms come up, and they bring that energy, that new beginnings in. So out to the side, to the front, and back up with your palms up. Out to the side, palms are down, swinging forward, and in. One palm over the other, hold that energy, and now very gently switch your leg position. And now we're going to do parting the clouds here. So hands come into our belly, palms are facing up, and they come out, and we lean forward, I should say here, and now they come face down, and they come back to our hips. And once again, we start that cycle. Palms are up, thumb to pinky, sweep out, pinky to thumb, and now let's go back the other way. Flying phoenix, out, and this is the wings of the phoenix, out, and this is the new beginning of the phoenix. So we open up, the wings expand, we fly, we find freedom, and then the new beginning. And inward. Right hand over left, and bring your foot together. Feet together. Pause in Uji. gently shake it out, and yogi marching toes. I believe we've come full circle in our session today, but we're going to set up for gentle meditation in our reading of positivity, looking back, moving forward, resilience. So we're anchoring ourselves back into Wuji Chair Tadasana. So feet are flat on the floor, toes are pointed straight. The aligning and the stacking, knees over the ankles, knees in line with their hips. The rising of the back and the neck and the head, elevating, ascending, shifting ears over our shoulders, doorbelling your nose in, ding dong, welcome home, welcome to present. And now as we feel this uplifting and the grounding, we bring our hands either to the receiving of grace in oneself and others, or bring your hands to the belly button, interlocking your thumbs, and now we have Wuji of Tai Chi. And so in this position, or in the receiving position, we're finding the sense of our framework, our carriage, the frame of our body, musculoskeletal system, and also feeling the alignment of growth. So take a few moments here and now and just once again explore and discover, reconfigure, realign yourself with your breath cycle, your own natural breath cycle. The comings and the goings, the heres and the nows, the ebbs and the flows, the unity coming together in Trinity of our wellness. Take a few moments in here and now and just breathe. Simply breathe. You're no longer a human doer, you're a human being. Be here, be now, breathe. Feel the breath cycle and breathe. Today's theme is looking back, moving forward, resilience. Be careful not to stay stranded in the past. Do not look back unless it is to recognize how far you've moved forward. Use the wisdom you gathered from the past and quietly advance in the direction of your wildest dreams moving forward. Once again, be careful not to stay stranded in the past. Do not look back unless it is to recognize how far you've moved forward. Use the wisdom you gathered from the past and quietly advance in the direction of your wildest dreams moving forward. Where in my life can I reflect, illuminate, and radiate this message of moving forward resilience? What thoughts, actions, and words are encouraging me to take action through this message? Those are gentle thought questions for the day on our message of moving forward. Awakening. New beginnings, feeling refreshed, rejuvenated in spirit, mind, and body. We begin to wiggle the fingers on our hands and the toes on our feet, dropping our hands down off our body, off our belly, off our knees, and inhaling our hands up and overhead, clapping once more above our head, announcing our arrival. The first chanting word is we bring our thumb knuckles to heart center. The first chanting word is the word moving. Moving. Inhaling your hands up and over your head, clapping above your head. The second chanting word is the word forward. Forward. Inhaling your hands up and over your head, clapping above your head. The third chanting word is the word resilience. Resilience. Looking back, moving forward, feeling the power and the presence of resiliency of the here and now, inviting flexibility, recognizing the power of change, and rechanging, retooling, rebirthing, rejuvenating, re-identifying who we are. Invite the opportunity to discover. The chanting bells are rung 3 times in the power of the spirit, the mind and the body coming together to form one. In your wellness, in the wellness of all humanity, may we seek healing and peace through all people. Pausing, believing, breathing, we bow forward to each other and say, Namaste, Namaste, peace, Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Great class today, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Once again, it's always an honor and a privilege. Thank you once again. Please join me again for another series as we meld in and integrate yoga and Tai Chi. Some with a more predominant focus and others with a secondary, but we also like to move that in the yin and the yang and the ebb and the flow. So we're just trying to find movement in diversity and acceptance of how we can do that. So, Will DeGrauw, thank you. Be well. Take care.